Thumpy. Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the Reverend Guitar Circle I Ranch. I am here with this beautiful Dub King and Avocado Burst, which matches Penny's jacket. Say good morning, Penny.
Good morning, Penny.
What are we, Laurel and Hardy now?
Well, yeah.
What a bunch of slappy mess. We have actual bass players in the building. And whenever they watch me play bass, they cringe. And that's okay. We had one of the best bass players that I have ever met in the building for the last few days, Mr. Andy Irvine. And Andy absolutely destroyed. We had bass week this week, and that's why all these basses are set up on the wall behind me. And I couldn't resist not sharing this wall of basses with all of y'all on a Friday morning.
Tell him what we did.
Yeah, but I'm playing bass. It's fun.
Okay.
Bass is fun.
All right.
I mean, for those of you who just play guitar out there and you tune into this thing, I'm here to tell you, bass is fun. What did we do? We went to Sweetwater Sound, which is in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I don't know if you've heard of that. And we had a bass presentation out there. We've been selling instruments through Sweetwater for a little over a year now. And when we launched out there for Guitar Month in 2021, I took Greg out there, and we talked to all their fine, fun sales folk about the guitar line. And then took me a little while to schedule a bass thing there, but we managed to get a bass thing scheduled. And so our good friend Andy joined us from Fraser, Colorado, where he is from, where he lives with his mules. And he came in, and we did a few presentations at Sweetwater and a little meet and greet thing out there. And then we came back here Wednesday morning, and we set up the bass room, and we shot demo videos for all of the basses that you see behind me, which will slowly be creeping up onto our YouTube page, which is pretty exciting. I have got this Dub King. I got to tell you guys, I was telling her about this before. I'm not used to this. Andy plays professionally and very, very well. And he likes a lot more relief in the neck because he really digs in than our factory setup. And so he grabbed a truss rod wrench and tweaked all the guitars that he played for the demonstration. And I picked this thing up, and I'm like, whoa! I am not used to there being so much space there. Of course, my own personal sort of ham-fisted playing, which doesn't have a lot to do with professional bass playing, I'll be honest with you. It really finds it unusual, but man, it sounds good, doesn't it? So we have an Aguilar Tonehammer 500 here in the shop. It's not in the camera.
It is a little bit.
Off to my right. Pretty nice little rig. We actually use that Tonehammer rig when we tour with Jay Navarro and the Traders.
Right.
It's been going on the road with us for about 6 years now, and it's a little workhorse, you know, and it sounds great. This is the Dub King. The Dub King is unique in that it is a 30-inch scale, So what they consider to be a short scale bass, but this isn't a beginner product. This is a bass that's designed to do some very specific things, and I encourage you to watch Andy's demo video if you want to know what they are. I'm just kidding. I'll run through some sounds. This is the thick brick pickup in the bridge, and due to its position and the fact that it's a big old bass humbucker, it throws a ton of mid-range. And then up here in the neck is our split brick, which has the sort of reverse P layout, where not unlike the beautiful Railhammer hum cutters, there's a couple of full coils under here. We just sort of removed a couple of the pole pieces to, Kevin Mernon, take a smaller slice of the magnetic field that's created by the strings. That's correct. And that way you get like a very, very focused and very controlled sound when you are in the neck pickup alone. See how hacky I am? And then as you move your way towards the bridge position with our fun blend control, you can sort of dial in that mid-range as you go. Straight up and down, the pickups are in a series, and so you get this little compression thing as all four coils come on. And then you work your way towards the bridge. You can hear that mid. And all the way on the bridge pickup. Where is this useful? Well, when you are trying to blend into a mix and you don't really have time to run over to your amp, or you're just not feeling it in a room, you can sort of adjust that mid thing to make sure that you're sort of cutting through without losing any of that low end response, because as the bass, of course, you are holding it down. Am I right? Mm-hmm. Yes. So one of the things, another bass that I want to show off to you on Bass Day, the Dub King, by the way, semi-hollow Carina body, 30-inch scale, does have the 5-piece maple. This would be, I'm sorry, Carina and walnut neck underneath of this thing. We do the laminated thing on the necks for stability. And the Dub King is very unique in that it has a solid spruce top, which gives it a little bit of that acoustic zing. Makes it kind of fun. I'm moving around, LG.
I know, I see you.
Moving around. Wish me luck. There, I did that without falling over. You should be proud of me.
Did you? Are you sure you're not done yet?
That's a good point. That is a good point. This is a Triad, folks. Let's talk about that laminated neck thing we were discussing. You can really, really see it here on the Triad. This is a roasted maple neck with walnut stripes. We do this again for stability. You laminate wood in that direction. It makes for something very, very strong. We want you to be able to adjust the truss rod and leave it for extended periods of time. On the set neck instruments, the set neck basses, we still do this lamination thing. We just do it with Carina, and it is under the paint so that you can't see it. The Triad, oh yeah. These are Jazz Bomb pickups, and these two are wound the same, and then there's a bridge pickup with a little bit more output because, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but this is always fun. I remember being kind of blown away when I learned this. The reason why your neck position pickups are louder is because the string vibrates wider over them, and so they actually have more signal to work with. And the string vibrates more narrowly underneath of the bridge pickup, which is why we wind them a little bit hotter so they match the output of the neck pickup. Penny's looking at me like, I know this, and why are you talking?
No, I'm
Poor
not.
Penny.
That's not what I'm thinking out. I was thinking, oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah, and if when you hit a note, I mean, you can see the wider vibrations,
Well,
as you look down the
obviously it
strings,
makes
especially
sense.
on the bass, right?
Right. If you took a cable or a rope or something like that and you went like this,
Yeah.
nobody can see me, but if you like made it vibrate like that, it would have a wider swing in the middle, like a jump rope.
Yeah,
Wider swing in the
without
middle
question.
and less towards your hand.
Right,
It's the
right.
same
Yeah,
thing.
it's the same principle as the jump rope. Yes, exactly. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's such an obvious thing, and I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this, But I remember, I mean, I had been playing guitar for a long time before that was brought up with me, and I was kind of blown away. Like, whoa, that's kind of weird. The Triad came out a couple years ago, and we've been having a lot of fun with this. There's a cosmetic thing that's fun. We put the block inlays on it, even though it's a bolt-on, because the block inlays kind of go with the pickups, which are cool. The Jazz Bombs are, rails type pickups, and again, those rails, small slice the magnetic field. You know the story.
We know.
When we originally designed this bass, Naylor had 3 master volumes and a master tone over here, thinking that, every possible pickup combination and blah, 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 blah. And what we discovered was that the individual positions kind of lost their definition in that format. We could certainly dial in some cool sounds, but it took a lot of time to dial in those sounds. You know what I mean?
Right.
And with the 5-way switch, you just get them, And so I'm going to run through those. And by the way, I didn't touch Andy's settings on this rig because I think it sounds killer.
I do too.
And you can really hear really definition. Again, he's the bass player here, so right. So we should roll with that.
Right.
Here's that neck position. No, I don't really want to do that. I just thought it was funny. And go to that neck middle. And you can get that little compression thing again that you get when 2 pickups on. Middle position by itself. And then the middle bridge. And the bridge by itself. This is the Triad bass in Carina burst. How sharp is that?
It kind of looks like a railroad track.
It does a little bit, yeah. I like that.
I knew you would.
No, I like that bass line.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I stole that from. I clearly stole it from somebody. Speaking of cool new finishes, this is the Decision P, and this features, of course, the P rail pickups in the neck position, and this is in natural Carina with the tortoise guard, and it's always fun seeing that natural Carina, checking out that Carina grain. Carina throws like a pretty hefty mid-range, and it's traditionally much lighter weight than an alder or a mahogany, and so these basses, even though they have pretty large profiles, are really, really lightweight. 8 pounds. This is probably 7 pounds, 12 ounces, which is shocking to me. I'm going to have this guitar out at the Philly show in a couple weeks. If you're in the Philly area and you want to come check it out, you can see this one exactly. One of the reasons for the bass's unique look with that swooping extended upper horn is for balance, to hold that lightweight bass without getting a bunch of neck dive and such. This is the Triad.
Woohoo.
Here I go. Yes. Yes. LG, tell me,
Yes.
does anybody care?
Yes. Well, a couple people do. Okay. First, Jason wants you to hit him with some Cherub the Angel. Jason Bose.
Oh, which one is that?
I don't know, but he thinks you know.
Now, pick. Is that? Yeah, I think that's it. while we got it picked, Jason, how about a little bit of, let me get to the right. There's that. All
You
right.
said that was at Meng.
That was it?
Yeah.
Nice. I remembered, well, very early butthole surfers there from my friends I grew up with. But that was one of our favorite bass lines. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then Scott Busey
Scott.
says, sad news, the Sword is calling it quits, which we also saw yesterday. That's, a shame. Any chance you guys do another run of Kyle Schutt signatures in Alpine Burst? Mine was damaged beyond repair.
Oh, that sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Should I tell him what we're doing with the Kyle next year?
We're
I don't
doing
think I'm
something
gonna
early next
really.
year.
I don't think I'm gonna say it because I don't want to be accused of spilling the beans on what the new color on the Kyle
You're a
Schutt's
bean
gonna be.
spiller.
But I will say that there is going to be some green involved. But it's not going to be Alpine. I never say never, Scott. We don't have any plans on doing that Alpine Burst again, although it was damn killer, and I know it's one of Kyle's favorites for sure. But then he saw some other things that we were doing and was like, hey, can we do my guitar in that? And I was like, yeah, sure. Can't wait to see where Kyle lands. And of course, we wish him all the best, and he's our dude. So, I mean, if you need to follow what's going on with Kyle, you can always check us out here because we'll do our best to keep you up to date. Kyle's my guy.
He's super creative. He's always doing something interesting.
Yeah, he's always got something wild going on.
Yeah.
That's why they call him
Wild
Kyle.
Yeah, they sure do. That's not why they call him Wild Kyle, but okay.
They also call him Kyle, shut the door, I'm smoking weed.
Right.
I miss him, man. God, we haven't seen him since the before times.
No, I know. And then even on their last tour,
Yeah,
Kira went, Kira
Yeah.
and Nate went, and
Yeah.
they
they were so locked down with
they weren't
Primus
allowed to
and
go
all that.
backstage,
Yeah.
and they were disappointed.
Yes,
But-
yes, indeed.
But they were there. Brian Forsyth wants to know if the Triad body is the same size as the Decision P,
It is.
and do we have any new bases planned for 2023?
Yes, the bolt-on basses all have the same size body, obviously, except for the 5-string, which is a little chunkier, but not really that much, to be honest with you. And they look quite a bit different. The burst is, a burst is very slimming on a guitar body.
It is, though.
Indeed. Oh, it is. It's
Yeah.
very slimming. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's why I wear black around the edges. I just wear black. Anyway, what do we have new that's coming up in basses? Anything that we can talk about?
No. And then follow-up question. This is from me, not
Yeah.
Brian. The Thundergun and Michelle bases are the same
Yes.
shape.
Yes,
But
they
how
are.
do they compare in shape and size to the bolt-on shape? 'Cause
The
they're very
profile,
similar.
the profile is the same, but the
Yeah.
Thundergun and the Michelle have that body contouring
Right.
instead of having the binding, which makes them look quite a bit different.
Yeah.
And of course, the raised center ridge, so
Right.
they're a little thinner in the wings, or a little thicker in the middle, depending on how you want to look at it. And but other than that, no, they're the same profile.
Okay.
Indeed.
So really only the Dub King and the Hauser are the ones that are different. And the Watt, of course. The Watt is the, yeah. Cool.
I can't stop.
Well, okay.
I'm like the English beat. Just can't stop it. Sorry, lost my mind there for a second.
Sassy Cat says, how much longer on the Greg Cox signature telly in Bradford Beach Blue?
Oh, my man, we're just, that is one of those weird things. We're not necessarily behind on it. It's in production. It's just that we've been talking about it. We shouldn't have talked about it for as long as we talked
This
about
is
it.
why you shouldn't
I-
be a bean spiller.
I expect to have those Bradford Beach Blue gristles heading over to Wildwood by the end of the year, by the beginning of next year. It's just a matter of us being able to move some stuff through, and we did a lot of special runs with those. So we planned out like a year and a half's worth of special runs with our friend at Wildwood, and then we all, us and Wildwood, just started talking about them. And the thing with the Bradford Beach stuff was we had already done the color before. So when you guys call Wildwood and you're like, hey, I know you don't have, you're out of this on the website, I still want to get one. And then Wildwood is like, oh, we're doing another run. True, you know what I mean? But getting them scheduled and working it in with all the other runs that they already had scheduled just got convoluted. And then, back to this whole issues that we had with supply chains and getting Bigsby's and getting parts and doing all this stuff. Everything was just so staggered that I apologize for anybody out there who, I'm not trying to make excuses, for anybody out there who knows that something is coming and is waiting for something for us. I apologize. I just want you guys to know that we are doing our absolute best to get everything here and to get everything moved through. And then we are also going to do our best to stop making promises that we can't keep in the future. Right?
Right.
Right.
It does appear to be loosening up and getting back to normal, knock wood.
On that end, it's fine, but again, this sort of scheduling thing on our end and the overscheduling thing, that was sort of a problem, that we had. So
okay, short story. We got excited.
Yeah,
we all got excited
right?
About it,
Yeah, sure.
But
since you brought up Wildwood,
yes,
I'm going to get this thing out because I just think this thing is dope. So Wildwood did a special run of 6-gun HSS guitars, and we're going back almost 2 years now. And shortly after doing this run, of course, we launched the HPP, which is very, very cool. But I'm in the bass amp, by the way, and I don't care. See?
that bass amp
Quack.
does make it sound
Quack.
throaty.
Quack for miles, right?
Yeah.
So this is a Medieval Red 6-gun HSS Wildwood exclusive. What makes this guitar kind of unique in the HSS realm is, for one thing, Joe and I have never really liked HSS guitars in the traditional sense where you split the humbucker and the bridge when you combine it with the middle pickup. And that's the thing that companies have been doing for years and years and years because they find it to be very important to get the quack out of an HSS guitar. What happens there, of course, is that you lose a ton of volume. And between the humbucker on and that number 2 position, and not to mention positions 3, 4, and 5. There are players out there with HSH guitars. Steve Vai, very famously, I have a handful of gems too, and I think they're great. Yeah, it's true. And positions 2 and 4 on those gems split the humbuckers on the ends, and you have that volume loss. But Steve writes to that. I mean, when he's a
genius. So.
Well, in his rhythm stuff, when he's playing clean, is very much that sound.
Yeah.
But then he's got the lead options, on the ends for the full stuff when he kicks in all of his Vi gain, or as it were, But let's face it, very few of us are Steve Vai. So
really, there's just one.
Yeah. So what Joe and I have done with the HSS guitar, and this was Joe's idea, and I think it's brilliant. When we started doing these with Wildwood, the bass contour control only works on the bridge pickup. So I can roll the bass contour completely out on the bridge, and then as I switch, the bass is still there. So you get a really nice quack sound. Right? And that adjustability on the bridge pickup. So you can make the bridge pickup balance with the singles a little bit better, or you can have the bridge pickup set up for the rock. And I have no idea what's going to happen when I play the rock through this amp, but we're going to find out. Super Badass does kind of sound super badass through the bass amp. How
Yeah, it's not bad.
unusual.
Yeah.
Anyways, my good friend Dan Quigley from the band The Boys That Fall is playing one of these guitars when the band's on the road. And Wildwood still has a handful of them. So I had him send one back to me because I think it's cool. And so we're going to keep this hanging around here. And if you guys are interested in one of 2 runs of traditional HSS guitars that Reverend made, there's only been the 2. Mm-hmm. Here's one. It's Wildwood guitars. What do you know? Weird, huh?
Right.
Something weird to talk about.
Right.
But heck, it was sitting here in the demo room, and I wanted to talk about it. Not going to have time to talk about it next week. Not going to be here.
Right. Well,
We have so many cool and interesting things coming up. We're going to be here next week, but we're not going to have time to do the show.
oh,
It's going to be the weekend right before
Right.
Halloween, and we have plans and we have things, and so it's not going to happen.
okay.
So I apologize for not being here next week. In 2 weeks, the show will go on, but it will be from Penny's iPhone, and it will be late.
Right.
2 weeks from today will be the setup day at the Philly Guitar Show.
Right.
The Fall Philly Show in Oaks, Pennsylvania. And it is, Phoenixville is the area, Oaks, PA is the area.
Yeah.
Penny and I have been attending this show regularly for the last 12 years. I think we've only missed one when I was in England for something. And then we always have a really good turnout at this show. It's a lot of fun. But that Vintage Guitar is stepping up their sponsorship of the Fall Philly Guitar Show, which is going to include a big jam on Saturday night. And we are bringing in Gil Paris to support that jam, which we are very, very excited about. And then I just found out that Vintage Guitar is going to bring in Reverend artist Rudy Boy Harmule. So we're going to have Gil and Rudy Boy. What?
Nothing. Never mind.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have
Yeah.
Rudy Boy there. He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
What a fantastic player. I don't think I've ever seen Gil and Rudy Boy tear it up together either. So that should be, I know they've met,
Yeah,
but I don't know if
the
they've ever
one-
had an opportunity to play together.
The one place with the tacos in California,
Was Gil there that night?
Gil's always at NAMM.
Do you guys know the taco story?
You knew exactly what I meant.
Oh, I'll never forget it. When you said the place with the tacos, I knew exactly what you were talking about. Yeah, we did a showcase gig around one of the California NAMM shows with Pete Anderson at this restaurant, and Pete was actually on stage playing, and he was talking about something in between songs, and the sound guy interrupted Pete Anderson and said, "Hey, I just wanted to let everybody know that the taco stand in the courtyard is closing in 10 minutes or something." And Anderson just lit this dude up. It was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong, but Anderson is like, I was talking, and I'm the reason we're here, and
Grammy-winning artist.
I've won all these Grammys and written all these songs, and I didn't do all that shit for you to interrupt me to sell your
sell
tacos.
tacos.
And
Yeah.
it was, and like everybody, you could have heard a pin drop in the room, and then everybody just started laughing and clapping. It was freaking hilarious.
It was hilarious. That poor sound guy was just
My God!
His manager told him.
I'm sure his boss told him, "You got to
Yeah.
get out there and do this," and
Yeah, and I'm sure he felt awkward about it to begin with.
it was classic.
Before we move on.
Before we move on,
You
'cause
have-
I've got one other thing I got to talk about.
Oh,
It's very
okay.
important.
Talk about your
no,
other
no, no.
thing, but I got-
What
okay.
do you want before we move
No,
on?
no, no,
You
no.
first.
You go
You
ahead.
first. Mine is in the wrap up.
Okay. That's what I thought, which is why I said before we move on. Somebody called Old Guitars in Black and White, who I think is Johnny Cola, said, "I used to sell Vi his Nikes when he was a kid, size 13.
Yeah, that would be Johnny, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And also Johnny Cola will be at the Fall Philly show. So if you want to hear stories about selling Steve Vai Nikes or anything else about any other guitar player in New York City, because he knows them all,
Yes, Johnny will be
come
at
see
the Philly
Johnny
show.
Cola.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
Eric plays bass.
Hi, Eric.
Says, what are the current plans with the Sentinel? Maybe a J version in the future?
Well, the Sentinel sounds really good with that P pickup. I mean, that's a real part of the kicker on the Sentinel is the tonal options with the three-way switch and the single P blade. Right now, the Sentinel is on hiatus, and I do not know what the future will bring. Hopefully, the future brings the Sentinel back to us, ripping, rocking, and rolling.
Yeah.
But we're just sort of moving things around to make space for stuff that's selling like mad. But the Sentinel is not done. The Sentinel's on hiatus. Notice I didn't say the Sentinel was done.
No, it's in the vault.
Just hiatus.
Yeah.
Sentinel's got to come back sooner than later. It kills.
Right. People love
Thank
it.
you for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Because the world needs to know about Sentinel Love.
Right.
What else?
Absolutely. Sassy Cat wants to know if that's a 15-inch speaker.
No, it's 212s, and it's those Aguilar, those super lightweight Neo cabs that weigh about 8 pounds apiece. So it's two 112 cabs with the Tone Hammer 500. Thanks for asking. I think we just have it mic'd at the moment. When we did all these demo videos with Andy yesterday, we mic'd it and ran direct out of the head,
Yes.
so we could get a really, really nice mix for Andy, who really plays bass, unlike me. Thank you.
Johnny Cola actually said, no, I have a gig. So he will not be at Fall Philly, which is news to me. He said Dawn will be there, which is better. My estimation.
Yeah. Listen, Johnny.
She doesn't know every guitar player in New
I
York
was
City,
gonna
so-
say it, but she said it. So, yeah. I mean, if I love you. We've known each other for a long time, but if I had to choose, awesome. Well, Don will be there, so come by and say hi to Don.
I'm sure.
And that's okay. We got Rudy Boy to help us in the booth, and we
That's
got
true.
Gil. We got Gil. Gil worked. Well, Gil ain't gonna help us in the booth.
He'll talk to people.
He will.
And we've got Nate.
Yes, we have Nate.
Yeah,
Yeah, Nate Haas is coming down from Boston,
right.
visiting us from Berkeley. He will have work to do, won't he?
He will.
Indeed. Cool. Too cool. All right.
Okay,
What else?
so what's your wrap up?
Okay. Well, next week's very exciting. Next week is a very exciting time too, folks. We have Greg coming.
We do.
We do. We have Greg coming. And what brought Greg to us is we are very, very excited to announce, and we've already announced, but and I think I talked about it here when I was here a couple weeks ago, but the addition of Rock City Music in Livonia, Michigan to our dealer network. We are super proud to bring Rock City on. Joe's Music up in the Detroit area, Joe has retired and the store is gone. And Nick and his crew at Rock City were very, very excited to bring Reverend into their fold of brands. And he's got a hell of a store up there. He carries a lot of stuff. He is not afraid to get into I walked in there was a brand of guitars I wasn't familiar with at all hanging on the wall.
That's cool.
That comes from Japan, and you know how I like Japanese guitars, and they all had reverse headstocks, and you know how I like that too. So, I mean, he's just got a really, really cool store that also has vinyl in the front, which is really cool too. And that seems to be, is that like the Michigan business model? Because that's what Brian and B's music's doing too. He's got all the cool vinyl and he's got all the cool instruments.
I think it's
I
just
totally
a
dig it.
young hipster guitar store owner
Yeah, maybe,
model.
maybe.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're both
Yeah.
young hipsters,
I suppose.
kind of.
Yeah, kind of. Except for Nick's a drummer. So he has that sort
I
of,
mean, that's what I mean.
He's
kind
got that sort of rough edge drummer thing to him,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? Yeah, gosh, I love a good drummer. Anyway, Rock City Music is super cool. They have a good tech bench there, too, by the way. Really good, like, repair thing. They have been a Railhammer dealer for a number of years. And so when he expressed interest in coming in on Reverend, yeah, of course. And we're buddies with Nick through our friends in the Coffin Cats and everybody. We all sort of run in the same circle. And I've been really good friends with his girlfriend, wife. I have no idea
I
what
don't
their
know if they're
relationship.
actually
None of
married
the
or not, but
relationships
they've
aren't anybody's business anymore.
Yeah.
But Rachel is a
Partner.
really partner. Yeah, Rachel has been a very good friend of mine. We've been playing gigs together for, well, let's just say a lot of years. And anyways, so Greg Kopp. Did I mention Greg?
You mentioned Greg.
Greg's coming in, and we're doing a party at Rock City next Wednesday, the 26th of October at 7 p.m. And we're going to have a soiree, and we're going to do the Ken and Greg show live from Rock City Music in Livonia, Michigan. And Greg's fired up. I'm fired up. Of course, we couldn't bring Greg in without going and doing some other stuff too. So next Tuesday, the 25th, Cleveland, Ohio, North Shore, well, South Shore of Lake Erie, but Ohio's North Shore. I've always been confused by that. They call it both things. I don't like that.
It's the North
Anyway.
Shore of America.
It's the North Shore of America, right,
Correct.
but it's the South Shore of Lake Erie.
Well, but I
Anyways,
mean-
whatever. Cleveland, Ohio, folks, will be at Guitar Riot right downtown on Tuesday evening, and that one's at 6, I believe.
6 o'clock,
Details for both of these events are on our website. Greg and I will have some giveaways. We're going to sit around and, well, here's the beauty of it. We have nothing planned. I have no idea what Greg and I are going to talk about, what we're going to show off, what we're going to do. It's all going to happen right there on the spot.
Right.
And as Greg would say, there's nothing wrong with it.
I'm here for it.
Right, I'm here for it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I like the rock music. These are all things that are going to be discussed.
Right.
Yeah, Greg's a blast. So please come out to those events next Tuesday, Guitar Riot in Cleveland, and next Wednesday, the welcoming party for Rock City in Livonia. What did I miss, LJ? That it?
I think that's it for
Cool.
the time being.
We'll see you next week, hopefully in person. And listen, if you're in California and you're like, I really wish I could go to that Rock City event, get on a plane. Flights are cheap.
Okay, no, they're not. I'll try to take.
Get
some,
on Amtrak. If you leave now, you'll make it here in time.
I'll try to take some, live video.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Pull up the
We'll
phone
pop
or
out
something.
there and do something.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in this week. I don't remember any of the stuff I was playing, but